This is CW Sports.
Good afternoon from Fort Worth, Texas. Race 12 in the season tomorrow. Coverage on CW, 2:30 Eastern Time. And the stars are out. An old champ is back. Austin Dillon driving for RCR. Jesse Love got the crown for Mr. Richard last year. Joe Gibbs Racing always good when it comes to Texas. Two young stars right here. Cruz and Taylor Gray, who won a couple of weeks ago. We welcome you into NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, Machinery Auctioneers, and Bird Oil Field Services practice and qualifying from Texas Motor Speedway.
That's a mouthful.
It's a lot.
Wow.
But we're happy to have him on board on a Friday as we do practice and qualifying. From now on, you need to let me introduce you before the people at home hear your voice. With Jamie McMurray, I'm Adam Alexander. How about Parker Kligerman? On track today, doing trucks, going to run the race tonight. He'll be with us tomorrow for the broadcast, and we look forward to that. We wish him well this evening as he goes racing here at Texas. A very fast mile-and-a-half, third mile-and-a-half on the schedule this year, and we begin our coverage with number 7, Justin Allgaier. 3 victories so far in 2026.
No, there's no doubt Justin's going to be one of the guys you're going to have to contend with. I think back to that great battle he and Larson had at Vegas. 7 car has been just incredible every track that we've been to this year. This track's so interesting too. The difference between turns 3 and 4, where you see Justin right now, it's just literally all but wide open in qualifying. It has a ton of baking and a lot of grip, and then you get down to turns 1 and 2, and it's so much flatter, sketchy on entry. You don't really need all the racetrack. You look how wide the track is. They will not use nearly all of that track. Very flat exit right here as well.
Such a delicate balance, though, right, when you talk about setup, because of the differences in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's what everybody's going to be chasing for 50 minutes. We saw Jesse Love hanging out on the pit lane. Here he is driving the 2. Pretty good on the mile-and-a-half so far in 2026.
See that car wash up.
2 to the bottom, 21.
See that car wash up just a little bit. He had rolled out of the throttle. See what he does down here in 1 and 2.
Clear off.
He had a bad 3 and 4 and had to let a car go there. Try to regroup here, let the air pressure build up a little bit.
Look down at our bumper. Time starting to populate. Allgaier quickest. Jeremy Clements coming off a top 5 last week. 2nd in practice. Sieg, Sammy Smith, William Sawalich, the top 5 early in the session. You know, we talk about Justin Allgaier, 3 wins this year. And our reigning champ, Jesse Love, still looking for his first victory of the campaign. This move in the cycle of green flag pit stops at Talladega last week was unreal.
Yeah, we saw a couple penalties for Allgaier and fumbled through that. Jesse Love doing what he can do at the speedways, trying to block all those guys. This is right at the very end. So unfortunate for C. Harrison Bird, those guys to get caught up in an accident so close to the finish line.
Started on the pole, led 37 laps, but finished in the 7th position after getting shuffled out late. Look at the drivers in line for the dash for cash in the bumper. A couple of them up in there in top 10 in practice. Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed, Corey Day, who won last week, going for the $100,000 along with Brent Cruz.
Yeah, Jesse Love's definitely disappointed in that car. We heard, well, we could see that car not sticking to the bottom like he wanted out of the throttle a lot. He's 22nd overall right now, so Stockton's got to do a little tune-up on that and get it to where they want to go, see if maybe they've been trying something, you know, come here, see if you can learn a little bit. I think this is the hardest mile and a half to get the balance right between the two ends.
This is the time of the weekend where you get out your pencil and your paper.
Oh, Lord.
And you just make sure you know who's where. I mean, Allgaier's running the Roto-Rooter scheme. And in the one this week, Connor Zilich setting up for his 4th start of the year, one in his last outing. Bristol, Tennessee, when he was able to have a little strategy move called by Rodney Childers, and he was able to hold him off and get career victory number 12. Let's hear from Dylan Welch.
And Adam and Jamie, it's worth noting too and remembering that this is Connor's first start here at Texas. Didn't race this race last year. This was the race that followed Talladega last year where he had that back injury. So Kyle Larson was in the 88 last year and won. So Connor making his first start at this racetrack in this race car. They did some sim work. He and Rodney Childers did a couple weeks ago and mirrored Justin Allgaier's times and laps as best as they could, which is a pretty good strategy considering Allgaier's fastest right now. They also watched a lot of Sheldon Creed in-car data, which I found was interesting. Rodney said we really didn't have that many options to choose from, but we watched Sheldon's and thought his was pretty good. So interested to see how that applied for them here in the early laps. His earliest feedback right now just is that he's on the splitter in 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, he picked up the pace pretty quick. You see 6th overall right now. And I think back to last year, there were a lot of tracks that he hadn't been to, and it just took a few laps. You know, they do all that prep work in the sim and the video, and then he was able to apply that to the racetrack, and I don't see this weekend being any different.
He's never won on a mile and a half. You think about his success story and everything he's done, the 10 victories a year ago. 3 times he's been a runner-up on the intermediates, but has never won on a mile and a half. We'll look to go to 1-0 at Texas, as Dylan mentioned. This is the first start here for the driver from Mooresville, North Carolina. And now we go to the man second in practice, Jeremy Clements, who was top 5 last week. Best run of the year coming at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, great run. We always talk about Talladega being an opportunity race. Jeremy made the most of his last weekend. What a way to start your day off here, though. You mentioned it being 2nd overall, right behind Justin, right in front of Ryan Sieg. So a couple of good names towards the top of that list. One thing to get back to with Connor, maybe you said it and I wasn't paying enough attention.
Could be.
That win percentage is pretty incredible. 31% to be in front of Kyle Busch.
Well, I was worried that he was going to fall to 2nd, but then he went out and won Bristol, so he was able to keep it in the 30s, which is outstanding. Clements coming in. Mentioned the top 5 last week for Clements. 5th, followed that up. Now that 5th rather came after a couple of 15th place runs. So Clements has been good in recent weeks. As we look at the 88, Kyle Larson driving that car for the 2nd straight year. Dylan told that story. Larson comes over, fills in for Zilich, wins the race, and we got the highlight here. You know, qualifying was rained out here a year ago, so Larson had to start deep in the field, drove through, had a penalty, had to go to the back again, but eventually was able to get it done in double overtime.
I know that we mentioned, you know, obviously last year, every time he would get in one of these cars, it was just, he was the best car. I think about how quick he was at Bristol. It hasn't been as easy this year. And I know that he's been able to get to victory lane, but they have kept him very honest. Allgaier, obviously, I think week in, week out has been the fastest car, and today is very similar. As Kyle's 15th overall right now. I feel like he's been very sensitive to the splitter being on the racetrack. And we heard Zilich reference that. All these guys will talk about it because you want to keep it as close to the ground as you can. But Marty Lindley, you see on the right there, just awesome job last year, does a great job as a crew chief, but it's been a little bit harder to have that speed for Kyle Larson, like what we saw last year. It just doesn't seem to be quite as quick as we've seen.
Taylor Gray won the last time we raced on a mile and a half at Kansas. Let's get 54 team radio.
It's like an electrical issue. Maybe in the Z-box, not sure. You feel like it started losing fuel, or do you think it was electrical? I don't think it started losing fuel. It didn't sputter at all. It was just an immediate shut-off. When I try to fire it up, it makes this weird ticking sound. Fuel pressure gauge stays low. Builds no oil pressure.
We'll take a listen here and see if you can hear what Taylor's referencing. Yeah, just lost total power right there. My gut tells me the first thing they're going to go look at is maybe the switch on the steering wheel. They've got a kill switch on the steering wheel that you can work with. I would tell you that I would want it to just turn off and shut off so that we can try to find what the problem is. The hardest thing with electrical is when it's like a intermittent and you can't, you're like, I don't know, because it's not doing it now. So hopefully the fact that we just heard that engine completely shut off, they'll be able to start changing some pieces out and figure out exactly what that is.
That's where I'm glad that the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series has gone to a 50-minute practice session this year, because last year we had the 25 and 25, the two groups, and if you have an issue like that, it's just hard to get any traction, get any time.
Yep.
So you have a little bit of an extra work period on the car before you have to get back out there and maybe get some good out of the practice session. Riding on board here, the Arby's onboard Carson Quapple back in the 9 here at Texas.
I see him looking in the mirror a lot. It tells me he doesn't like where his car is. He's gonna he's gonna let Brandon Jones go right there. I saw him get into turn 1 and miss the bottom, and he kind of looked out of the side mirror, and then he kept referencing, looking at the rear view mirror, which is just an automatic sign that you haven't had a good corner and that someone is catching you from behind. This track's so fast. I don't think that we can put into perspective when you get down to turns 3 and 4. If you could have a little grip meter on the steering wheel when you enter turns 3 and 4, you just start squeezing tighter and tighter because of how fast that feels.
Quapple 25th on the board. Some work to do there. His teammate Justin Allgaier, the best of the bunch, just over 10 minutes into practice. It's race 48 for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series tomorrow at one of the great ones, Texas Motor Speedway. CW Sports, back live, Texas Motor Speedway. Practice for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, qualifying to follow. We race tomorrow with coverage beginning on CW 2:30 Eastern Time. GovX onboard camera riding with Sam Mayer, won here in a photo finish 2 years ago. 9th in practice right now.
Yeah, working inside of LeVar Scott right there. Yeah, I've seen in the race here this groove widen out just a little bit through turns 1 and 2. So you see Sam right on the bottom, but when you look at that and you see the darker area around the top, that's where they've sprayed the track in years past, and the rubber is kind of still worked in, even with all the rain that you have over the past year. That area still tends to get a little bit darker, and the guys are still searching, trying to find that little bit more grip. They don't apply that anymore, but just the residual spray that's been on there from years ago.
Let's go back to 2024. Check out Corey Day. Won last week at Talladega.
And that green splitter and spoiler for the Dash for Cash. These guys all getting a chance to the top 4 from last week, getting a shot to race for an extra $100,000. Just what Corey Day needs.
It was funny though, because he wins and it's his first career win, and very quickly admits, boy, I didn't think it was going to come in the draft.
And we all agreed.
Well, and quite honestly, I thought it would have been at one of these 1.5 miles because he's been so impressive. And I forgot his 1.5 mile debut at this level was in this race a year ago.
Yep.
And he was really good. I referenced the fact that, qualifying was rained out, so he didn't have a great starting position, drove up inside the top 10. And I give a lot of credit to this guy on the right, Adam Wall, who led the program last year when they had the Cup drivers coming over, and now is taking on, full-time with Corey Day. And he's really done a nice job managing this young driver that's going to a lot of tracks for the first time. Here it is. He only led 1 lap.
You only got to lead 1 lap.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, he did a really good job out of it. I would, I totally understand what he's saying. He didn't think it would come at Talladega, but it did. He did a good job staying out of trouble, made the right decisions at the end, was in the right lane. Got a little bit of work to do today. You're 24th overall. I think it's hard to reference, though, that just initial lap, because if you're on the splitter, it just kills your overall speed. Got almost a second of fall off this weekend, over 10 laps. So it, yeah, I mean, like if you miss it just a little bit at the beginning. Kim, you got more on the 17?
Yes, Corey just came on the radio before he pulled it in and said, trying to roll speed center 1 and 2, but I need help on the second half of 1 and 2. He said mid-speed is where the most help is what they're looking for. And so he said he knows exactly what he needs. He wouldn't say it on the radio, so I expect Adam, the crew chief, Adam Wall, is going to get in the window, talk to Corey Day, figure out exactly what that was, but it was not something he was going to share on the radio.
Interesting. You see him, looks like they're maybe taking that left rear tire off. Can't see Adam's blocking what we can see right here. Maybe going to pull a spring rubber out of the left rear.
Do you have any idea how nervous I get when Dylan or Kim reference Adam Wall but just call him Adam, and then they say what he's going to do? Like, do you know what knowledge Corey Day would get if I got in the window right now? It would be nothing good.
Not good.
Love's back out there.
It's a little better right there through 3 and 4. You don't want to watch those guys, especially early on in practice, just how low they can stay and how long they can stay on that white line around the corner. See him really extremely low right there. That looks pretty good. He's going to get a good read off those cars in front of him as well, of just kind of where his speed is overall. And I think being in a little bit of dirty air, or just, not clean air, is also a good thing in practice to get a read on your car for the race.
Ryan Sieg, he's really good, and I referenced 2024 in the photo finish here. Mayer wins it and broke Sieg's heart, who's been a runner-up 5 times, still looking for his first victory.
And he has to be so excited, though, every time he comes back here. And I think the scoring pylon shows that right now, with Sieg being 3rd place overall. I remember that race. I was heartbroken for him. It's so much fun to watch somebody get their first win, and it looked like with 3 or 4 to go in that race that there was no way he was going to lose it. So made it even harder to watch.
0.02 of a second was the margin there, tied for the second closest finish in series history. You know, you look at Sieg, and I feel like there were some moments early in the year where they didn't take advantage at tracks where he typically runs well. Atlanta really comes to mind when he was involved in that early crash. But despite some of the hiccups they've had, you know, he didn't get what he deserved last week at Talladega either. He finds himself 13 points out of a chase position, 14 points out of a chase position in 13th. So he's very much in the game as we head toward the summer stretch in the second half of the regular season. Here's Sammy Smith. Good rally late last week to get a top 5, and he needed to get back on track after a few weeks outside the top 10.
Yeah, they were tremendous at the beginning of the season, and then had those 3 weeks where they got a little bit off. But last week, that was a great rebound. He's obviously a part of Junior Motor. Ooh, look how high he's running right there. Let's see what his lap time is. If he's able to find some grip up there. Yeah, actually not a terrible lap right there. So it almost like he's searching around a little bit. You see on both ends of the track. This is the line that we saw so many guys run last year. Larson was the first one to find it. Was able to drive from like 20th up to second place in that first stage. And then everybody started moving up just a little bit. It takes, you have to be brave to do this early on in practice, because if you get just a little bit too high, it goes from a lot of grip to just no grip. And there are so many guys that we're going to see hit the wall on the exit of turn 2 and turn 4, because once you lose the nose or that thing gets out from underneath you just a little bit, oh man, he is really flirting with it right there. The track flattens out on exit.
Have to back it up some. That was too deep.
Looks like they're maybe talking about how deep they drive into the corner.
What about that 8 car, Dylan?
Yeah, they're the second guy that I've heard, including the 21 Austin Hill, that is actively searching and has found speed in that second lane, like Jamie mentioned. So Sammy was wanting the car to be a little bit freer without taking the back of the car out of the racetrack, and then once he moved up, it kind of helped solve some of his issues. So they seem to like that a little bit higher on the racetrack. One thing maybe to note too, tomorrow it's going to be sunny and quite a bit warmer. It's probably in the mid-50s and obviously overcast here today. It's supposed to be in the 70s and sunny tomorrow. So I don't know if that's going to make it more treacherous in that outside lane or not, but for these guys that are finding it right now, maybe something to consider before they race tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a great reference right here though. Jeb Burton, you watch, he's kind of running the line we've seen everybody run. See how he can roll in just a little bit quicker. It takes a few laps to get your confidence to be able to run that higher line and knowing how hard you can push it on entry.
Quarter south.
Tells me that top is not where it needs to be just yet, because Sammy Smith is 4th on the overall board speed-wise. Jeb Burton down in 29th. Lap-wise, a little bit different. I mean, Sammy Smith's run some more laps. The fall-off's good, though. I think all these guys are going to be happy with the tire this weekend and how much fall-off we have pace-wise. Like I say, it's over a second those first 10 laps.
Last month and a half, not been great for Austin Hill, who's 12th on the board in practice, and coming to a track where you feel like they could get it turned around. Texas has been pretty good to him over the years. Came
really close last year.
Yeah.
They took a chance, you know, staying out on their strategy, got a little bit off, and I thought, as I watched the race back, I'm like, well, how are they going to lose this? Because of the track position they had, but just, my goodness, the restarts we had at the end of this race last year, it worked against the 21 team.
Yeah, they needed a green flag run because they had the buffer they needed to the cars that were on tires, and they just got the cautions, and Larson was able to get 2 or 3 on each of those restarts and eventually was up front, and nothing Hill could do with him on the fresher tires.
Pretty good speed, though, for the 21 right now. I mean, you look at that, he's 12th overall. I mean, that's a good speed. We've seen some of these guys being way off. Fun to have this guy back this weekend.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Austin Dillon coming back. I heard him kind of joking around if he could just be close to the speed of Jesse Love and Austin Hill, he was going to be happy. It's tough, these guys from the Cup Series that come back. The cars are so different, but this is a great track for Austin. You got to think he came here hoping that he can get a win.
Well, you see the 6 Cup wins down there for Austin Dillon, and one of them coming right here at Texas Motor Speedway. Pretty sure it was a 1-2 finish with Tyler Reddick. Here we go. And there they are out front. This was the COVID year, 2020, came here in July. I can't imagine running a race in July in Texas, how hot that must have been for all these drivers. But a great win for Austin Dillon. He's always been good on the mile and a half. So you think back to when he won the championship in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, 9 career wins, 5 have been on these intermediate styles. So this is really, really a good type of track for him. I guess we should say it's a good type of track for Brent Cruz too, because he's done it one time and he was top 5 at Kansas.
I think they're all going to be good tracks for Brent Cruz.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. But you look at the last 3 weeks and what he has done in very challenging circumstances against elite competition at tracks that are so tough. It just really puts an exclamation point on his talent.
Yeah, Brent's got the gift. I mean, I don't want to compare him to Connor Zilic because everybody's their own person, but their background is very similar. They're friends, you know, grew up doing, you know, a lot of the same stuff. And you mentioned it. I mean, the last 3 weeks for him have been impressive. I think to go to Talladega and have the run that he had, just and very similar to Connor last year, where you're just going to all these tracks for the first time. And you mentioned Kansas. I mean, this place is totally different than Kansas with all the banking it has down in 3 and 4, and it has some bumps, and then how flat 1 and 2 is, and just knowing what your car needs. That, to me, learning the racetracks is one thing, but learning what you need out of your car, that's what really separates it. And he's another one of those guys that is going to get that race for that $100,000 bonus in the Dash for Cash. I think at 19, getting a $100,000 bonus sounds like a win.
This is the second time he's been on the list to run for it. I mean, it's like he's just checking all the boxes. All he needs to do now is go out and get that win. Hey, how about Austin Green? You look at the practice sheet, he's 11th. This team has had a host of problems this year, and they weren't able to take advantage on the road course at Circuit of the Americas, where we know he's really good. That's his style of racing. Last week at Talladega, had never been there. First career top 10 finish at an oval, and he's come out at a very difficult mile and a half where he had never been to before today, and looks pretty good in practice.
Well,
that's great.
Just passed a really good car.
Yeah.
Both he and Jesse Love have similar laps on their tires. I don't know how many laps they have on this run. See Jesse Love still not happy with the 2 car. Kim, you got more on Jesse?
Yeah, Jamie, this has been way more work in this practice than I think the 2 team expected, because when I talked to Danny Stockman earlier in the day before they hit the track, he was really excited, had a lot of energy. No surprise there coming from Downforce Danny, but he felt like they had found something in their setup that they didn't have to compromise either corner. He felt like he was going to have Jesse turning in 1 and 2, but things in a spot where Jesse would be able to get through 3 and off for good. That was the goal. After the first run, that was absolutely not the case. Their pace was way off. Jesse reporting tight. He said more in 3 and 4 than 1 and 2. Actually, the front end was just numb, would not do what he wanted, especially when trying to roll mid-corner speed. The right front just was absolutely dead, he said. So they came in, they made changes, including pulling rubber in the left rear, among other things, sent him back out. Still, that second run couldn't do anything with the front, so still slowly massaging on that machine to try and get it where they wanted, but way off from where they expected to unload this weekend at Texas.
Well, got a little bit of work to do, and it's really hard when you come to these places and you don't unload good. Like for the 7 team, they've got obviously the quickest car, you got a good direction, but when you come here and you think you have something, and then you unload and it just doesn't translate to what you thought the sim or the setup was going to be, it makes for a long weekend. But I feel confident that both he and Stockman will get that figured out by the time qualifying rolls around and be fine in the race.
The last month has really been good to young drivers, and when you look at the average age of the winners, it really has come down in the last 4 races. And one of the big contributors to that stat, 19-year-old William Sawalich got his first career victory at Rockingham, one of 3 drivers to win for the first time in their career this season. Driving the 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing. He won there, comes back, wins the pole at Bristol, gets a top 10 finish. Boy, some bumps in the road the last couple of weeks, though. I think about wrong place, wrong time in Kansas when the RCR cars got together. He had nowhere to go. And a miserable Talladega for driver 18, but off to a good start here in practice, 5th on the board.
Well, it's been a tough couple of weeks, but you mentioned Rockingham. That was pretty awesome performance that he was able to put on. You see him on the inside of his teammate Brent Cruz, and he got the lead at him and then was just able to control the race. So special to see both he and his mom Stacy out there afterwards, being able to enjoy that, getting that first one out of the way. So hard, but really happy for William. I know how hard he's worked over the years to get to that point.
It was a history-making day. First driver from Minnesota to win in the top 3 series of NASCAR. Let's keep it in Big Ten country. Go to Indiana's own Dylan Welch.
I like that, Adam. Very good. Well, hey, Jeff Mendering, the crew chief on this car earlier today, told me that they've got to sharpen the pencils after the last couple of weeks. So I thought that was a good way to put it. Got to clean some things up. Everybody on the team, driver himself, their pit crew, everybody involved. This has got to be a little bit better, and they know that. One thing that they were looking forward to and excited about this weekend is that William is running the truck race. They said results aside, last year when he did that, Jeff felt like it helped him a lot in this car on Saturday. So hoping that that and another mile and a half where they've had speed, just trying to put it all together, can help get them back on the right track after, as you guys said, a tough couple weeks.
Track time never hurts when you need to sharpen the pencils. That's a very old engineer mindset saying that. Old school engineer mindset from Jeff Mendering. All Geyer leads in practice.
What do you think?
Any at all above the gray. So what you ran when you were behind the 2 is probably about as high as you want to get.
Turn left again.
All right, see y'all in a little bit.
I feel like the bumps exaggerate my lack of front grip, but it feels like I'm getting tight even before that bump. Like I just don't have front turn anywhere. It's always like just
inside of 20 minutes remaining. Practice for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series here at Texas Motor Speedway with Jamie McMurray. I'm Adam Alexander, Dylan Welch, Kim Kuhn hanging out in the pit lane. Driving the 32 this week. Raja Karu, 23rd so far in practice.
I think Raja's done a really good job this year of having to bounce back and forth. I know we talk about with Carson Quapple and some other guys. But he's done a nice job having to balance both of these, see him really working that high line.
A lot better there. I'll talk about when I get out.
That we saw Sammy Smith doing earlier. And listen, as I watched the race back, that's exactly what I would do as a driver. I would have been like, okay, that's the line they wanted to run. We get this practice. You don't really want to do that on your new tires because you know the speed's not going to be there the first lap by, but you're going to try to figure out what's my balance around the bottom of the track, what's my balance running up this groove, and then you'll work with your crew chief to try to get a balance between the two of those of what you're going to need for the race tomorrow. This is all about just collecting data, kind of putting it in your memory bank, and then being able to work on your car, you know, throughout the race to adjust to get the best balance between the two different lanes.
I don't know how it all carries, but when you look at Raj's history here on the truck side, pretty good. You had a top 5 here. And then when you think about where he won in Truck Series competition, did it on the intermediate Las Vegas, and overall he was always good at this style of racing on that side as he continued his growth throughout NASCAR. So maybe that helps him. And I feel like what this team really needs entering 12th in the chase standings is just a good opportunity for him. And I say this team, but really, speaking about Roger, he just needs one consistent run in the same car. I mean, you talked about how he's managing the bouncing back and forth, and he has done a good job.
For sure.
After a while, it's got to get to you, know?
Well, I mean, chemistry's everything, and it's about referencing, like, to your crew chief, hey, remember what we did at Kansas? Let's try that this weekend. But if you didn't have the same crew chief and you were in a different car, it's really hard to reference what you did 2 or 3 races ago. So that, yeah, that's a whole different level of trying to figure things out than what somebody like Sheldon Creed goes through, where you're with the same group every single weekend.
Yeah, second straight year he's been with Jonathan Toney, and you're really seeing the growth there. I look at the top 10 in our pylon. 4 HFT cars there are the Alliance cars, so they obviously have speed. And then, you know, Sheldon Creed, Dash for Cash, trying to make it 3 in a row tomorrow. Just been on an incredible run, a career best 8 consecutive top 10s. And, you know, when you look at his stats through 11 races, career best in every category, got that win at Atlanta. I'm so happy for him getting the fruits of his labor.
Yeah, and we have referenced, as we take a look back at Sheldon Creed last week at Talladega, he's so aggressive. See him get to the outside of Jesse Love right here. He's obviously on the right side of that wreck. He thought maybe he's going to run, you know, to get.
Yeah, I got you.
Corey Dave, the 31 flat. That was a 30. But said it, like, the run he's on.
That's as high as you want to go, right in front of you, right there.
Is not just him, it's also the team. But I think about his teammate, Sam Mayer. And Sam hasn't really done anything personally wrong, but if something could go wrong, wow, the fuel pickup issues, the flat tires, I know he's had some speeding penalties on pit road. Everything has kind of went wrong for Sam. But listen, racing goes like that. There's peaks and valleys, and you just have to enjoy this wave while you're on it, because they are doing everything right.
Creed's won here in a truck, did so 2020 when he went on to claim the Truck Series championship.
Water.
You know, I go back to Kansas. He finished second in that race after starting in the back. So passed a lot of cars that night and still scored a bunch of stage points. Riding on board with Jeb Burton, said Creed's won here in a truck, so has Jeb.
29 laps on his tires, they're running 31.
Jordan Anderson racing.
Jeb's working on his 30th lap, and we've seen him work at the bottom of the track, but as we ride on board with him, I saw through 1 and 2, he's another one of those guys. Everybody migrating towards the top, and I don't know if that's just because the bottom's losing grip, or if they're just all trying to figure out what their balance is going to be just a little bit higher on the track. This end of the track is pretty smooth. Hear his spotter say better, so if Jeb did something different inside of the car, he's going to maybe try to push it up just a little bit more. Maybe. Yep, so here, good lap time. I thought the same thing at 31:15 right there at lap 30. Looks like a decent lap time. I don't think it's race winning, but it's overall not too bad of a time. Look at the throttle though on the bottom. As you watch that bar graph across the bottom, watch the difference between turns 1 and 2, where he's gonna get all the way out of the gas, gonna roll in, use a little bit of brake until he gets to the middle of the corner. As soon as he feels the front end start to grab right here, he'll start rolling back in the throttle. Really aggressive back to the throttle on exit. But then as we watch the other end, it's probably going to be very minimal brake, just enough to make yourself feel good, jump out of the gas, just to see that, just kind of tickle the brake, then right back to wide open. And I'm telling you, it's so fast on the exit, your eyeballs start to grow, just making sure that front end will stay stuck and that the back doesn't get out from underneath you.
Mentioned the fact he won here in the Truck Series. It was his first NASCAR win in the top 3 series, and it came in 2013.
Yeah,
I remember
if we
that
get
night,
the extra figured out, the on throttle, I think we're going to be just fine.
I've said this before, use this analogy, but it was like he zip-lined from the spotter stand to victory lane. That's how quick he got there. He was so fired up. A guy that doesn't always show a ton of emotion was right there after Jeb won. It was so cool. He doesn't chase snakes that fast, you know.
He catches a lot of them, though.
All Geyers, all done with practice, and why not? He's number 1.
Obviously faster.
17, a little better. That's matching the entry into 1. That looks a little bit better. The initial build into the banking, the first third.
Right rear here. So I just gotta go. I gotta go see where my car's at. So I just want to run 3 laps. and clean air and just get a good read on the splitter height and all that stuff. Because I think, I don't know, I think we might have had some issues here the whole time, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, 10-4, I like your plan. Track, I think, has maybe picked up pace also. There's some of these cars are hauling ass out here right now.
That's good. Is better. I think our placement off of 2 is good, trying to finish out of the rubber, and then towards the end, I think even right where we were running with the left sides on the hash marks there was good. That's kind of where the line progressed to, and so we'll just have to stay up on it tomorrow, but I mean, I felt okay with pace there. It's nice and consistent, not a ton of like true hard fall off every lap, and the balance looked like it. I didn't see any true insecurities, so I thought that was a productive deal there.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like given the heat cycles, I'm all right with the balance. That last change, I felt like it was good. I could feel the right front work a little bit better, but obviously, like the tires are used up, so I guess we'll see what it's got to go qualify.
Yeah, copy that. And then later, after the truck race, I'll look into looking at green flag entry and see where we could gain or where we were good there, and I'll report back. But yeah, I thought that was good for sure.
Ford, thanks, and good luck later.
Yep, 10-4. Appreciate it, buddy.
I said go to break just
a little bit of free, just do it better there.
Practice made sense because he's P1 and not
Feels
just
like more,
P1
but
in overall speed. He's leading every category right now.
It is.
Hard
You look
to
at that.
free up
we've got
anymore, I
5,
guess,
10
you
fifths
know.
in that category, but I will give you a teaser.
Just
If
gotta
you
do
stay around and watch the rest
a little
of
bit
the show,
different air pressures, and we'll
I'm going
probably
to
be
show
fine.
you maybe why he's not the best car and who I
I don't want
think is
to,
the fastest car here.
Overshoot the
in
moon here.
Texas.
It's gonna be warmer tomorrow
I
too,
know
right?
you can't go anywhere.
That's right, I'm stuck with you. Parker's not even here to help me out running the truck race later tonight. Parker will be with us for race coverage tomorrow.
Kilgerman is going to be driving tonight.
Now, you know, I tried to be politically correct, Jamie.
I didn't.
Evidently not.
We'll just call him PK for today. How's that
That's
sound?
it. That's
we can't
good
mess
for
that one up.
everybody. He's driving that truck that you're going to be driving. Hey, we've gone to the 15-lap average in our bumper, and we just saw that, you know, Allgaier leads in that category, but Retzloff is up there in second at 15-lap average. And
But now the water pressure's
what
at like
a great
80
year
or
that
90,
team
I don't
has
know.
put
It was 0 on the
together,
track.
consistent,
I don't know what the hell.
running up front each and every week.
And at all those different racetracks, to me, that's the most impressive
right.
thing, because you see guys that will excel just at the short tracks or maybe just at the drafting style
That'll be the biggest
tracks.
thing to pass guys
But
here.
Parker Retzloff has been quick at just about every type track that we've been to this year. I think they just need a little luck. You know, it just, I feel like there's just a little plague on them. If they can just have a little bit of luck.
2 right rear,
you go on the
minus
way. I
1
love those
left rear.
flames. Look at this pool. Rocking some flames. Kind of Jeff Gordon-ish right there is what I see.
Hey, I said Retzloff is consistent. What about this guy? I mean, top 20 in every race but one. Now, he did fall to 16th in points because of the Brent Cruz climb, but Poole's doing a really, really good job driving that 44 for Alpha Prime.
Every year, right?
Yep,
I mean,
that's right.
super consistent. He knows you're not going to take a 20th place car and win with it. He does exactly what he needs to do. When you look at those results, it's just 14th, 14th, 18th, 19th, 15th. Like, he just kind of knows, what he needs to do to try to make the chase, and doing all they can to try to make that happen.
He's a Texas guy from the Woodlands, Texas. Right.
Great lap.
About 250 miles from here, a little over 3
that
hours.
top was better for me.
Texas is big. You can be from Texas and be from a long ways
That's
away.
right. Just because you're from the same state
means
does
nothing.
not mean you're around the corner to your hometown.
It's different weather where he's from.
Look at this. I mean, he made the flag post.
Wow.
So close.
You know, the other thing I would say about Brennan Poole is he's been a really good leader and mentor for his young teammate and Rookie of the Year contender LeVar Scott. LeVar going to make his first Texas start tomorrow. Josh Williams bringing it in. Hey, how about last week in qualifying at Talladega for Josh Williams, qualified 4th. And Mason Maggio was 10th. Both DGM cars for Mario Gosling.
That was
made
big.
the second round of qualifying. That was fun to watch.
Yep. So that's a big win for that team.
I think it's going to
with all their front
I'll tell you what,
downforce
those two
on it,
cars will
it's
be
probably
easily
gonna
get confused.
Oh, no
Josh
doubt.
Williams and LeVar Scott.
Well, when we went from the 44 to the 92 and I saw the colors, I'm like, well, here is LeVar Scott. I'm like, actually, no, it's not, but we do have LeVar now. Such a great story, has made his way through the ranks, kind of doing it the old school way, is LeVar Scott. And here he is after a couple of years full-time in ARCA, running full-time in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Yeah, another one of those guys making his first career start here.
We can go more on that.
Run. 36 laps. I looked up a few of these guys. William Swalch run up to 50 laps in this practice. That's a ton. That's almost a fuel run here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Well, and Dylan referenced the track time that he will get tonight running in the Craftsman Truck Series race. So he'll build up a lot of experience this weekend. Zero's Garrett Smithley.
Yeah, because he can attack that corner
Nice
way
job
better.
last week at Talladega, second top 20 of the year. And I think back to what the Zero team did a couple of weeks ago when Cole Custer was driving. And they had some issues, had to come from the back, but Cole was able to drive up inside the top 10 at Kansas. 6 minutes to go. Hard to learn a lot at this stage of the game in practice as you wear out those tires, but Taylor Gray still getting after it.
Yeah, and I referenced, Swalch running 50 laps. The stage links are only 45, so they know exactly what they're going to have throughout their stage. Yeah, Taylor's up to 49 laps here. I can't imagine that you're learning a whole lot. I'm just wanting to see he's making brake bias adjustments right here.
I'm
He had that
thankful he's out
electrical
there.
issue. Yeah, he had that electrical issue earlier. Did they ever? I don't know that we ever heard exactly what happened to him. You see, that's a great thing to try here.
I like that.
We see a lot of issues with guys making green flag pit stops if they don't have a reference. He'll do that in practice here. And Adam, what I always did is I would have in my notes a reference on the outside of the wall, and if we could see that right now, there'll be like a light or a billboard. I would pick something that I would use as my reference in practice, and if I knew that I could get to that, in practice, then I would go a little deeper in the race. And it's been green flag stops have been an issue or a winning or losing move all year long.
Well, I mean, that's what won the race for them at Kansas. Taylor Gray gets the victory because of how they executed the green flag stop. This is what we saw earlier from Jesse Love, just weaving through those slower cars that were coming off the pit lane. And so many times in that final stage, the complexion of the race changes because you go 45 laps in stage 1, 45 laps in stage 2, and then you get that long run in the final stage, and you have to execute the pit stop. Let's go down to Dylan.
Yeah, some drivers starting to call their session good here. Parker Retzloff is 7th on the chart, but 2nd on the 10-lap average, which is maybe the important one. So how good did the 99 car feel out there?
Yeah, I mean, the
Go get Texas
Time off Free America, number 99 for Viking Motorsports, felt really good. I think we were 6th, 2nd, and then 2nd and 15. So everyone's chasing Justin. We're going to try and make a few changes here and make it a little bit better and go on to qualifying and try and lay down a lap and have a good day tomorrow.
The weather is going to be different tomorrow. How much stock do you put into today? It's not going to be that different tomorrow, but still going to be different enough, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just leave it up and trust the guys who make the calls of this team. So leave it up to them on their knowledge of what the track's going to do when the weather changes, and just go into tomorrow with a very positive attitude and be ready to have a good day.
Yeah, what they've done so far has been working for sure. Retzloff fast again, Kim.
And Dylan Corey Day coming off that first NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series win at Talladega. So first off, how was the week after your first win?
Yeah, it was cool. Always cool to just have the team and everyone happy from the weekend. So yeah, a lot of fun this week celebrating with the guys. Everyone has an extra pep in their step when you're fresh off a win. So good week for sure.
The thing is, though, you come to a racetrack and now you're trying to win again. So Texas Motor Speedway, what did you like about your car in practice?
Yeah, I thought we had a really, really good long run car. So hoping to see some of that tomorrow. Not really sure. These races have been playing out the opposite of that recently, to be honest. So it's better to have a short run car as of late. But we'll just hope to have a long run tomorrow. I think we'll get our short run a little better here too with some adjustments. And yeah, just go race. Go try for another one.
Corey Day, keep him busy this weekend. Also over at the dirt track running the high limit sprint car.
It's always fun when he goes back and forth, and what's impressed me is not, the win's great, right? But to be fourth in points with the inexperience that he brings to the table is really impressive. There's a little highlight, a little promo for what's happening next door.
Yeah, I saw Larson won over there last night. Corey Day, extremely good. I mean, over there and over here. But to me, Corey Day, it's been one of the best stories of the year because there was just a lot of unknowns with him and how he was going to perform and what they were going to be able to do.
Yeah, I definitely was on the
to me,
conservative side a little bit, but I think
expectations of
biggest
not
thing here,
just
just can you
performance
watch
on the track, but kind of how
what
he's
you think
handling
guys wide
himself
open
right
wise.
now. We know
I
that
think
there
for
was
fast
the
lap, my shape was
conversation
really
with Rick
good.
earlier this year
Into
about,
one,
you know,
I just could
taking
probably pick up a
responsibility.
little
We
bit more
can't
throttle
have
steer
the
like
issues
the
he
seven.
had those first few
And
races,
just
and he cleaned
needed
that
to try
up.
to hold it wide open.
It's been,
Or close to wide
really
open in
impressive
three.
to watch him, and I give a lot of credit to Adam Wall. You see in the background right there. I think his demeanor, when you're a young driver in any series, and I think about like a Denny Hamlin. I remember when he was with Mike Ford years ago. I feel like the driver personality and the crew chief, they almost kind of are the same. And those two guys have done an awesome job this year of getting the most out of that car and being as consistent as anybody.
I said this earlier, but when he won last week, he only led the final lap. He became the 6th driver in series history to get their first career win by leading only one lap.
I feel like I know.
Can you
I feel like they're going to Paul Harvey me here.
Can you name anybody else on that list?
I am going to go with Jamie McMurray is on that list.
Atlanta 02, right?
Did I only lead one lap there? Is that right?
Well,
Atlanta,
do you know who finished second? Do you know who you beat?
Joe Nemechek?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that Michael Waltrip was supposed to win here.
That's right. He reminds you every time you see him.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we saw Dean Thompson there and didn't get a chance to talk about him, but I did want to reference the great run they had last week. Not a lot of things have gone well for Sam Hunt Racing in 2026, but Dean got a top 10 at Talladega and scored stage points.
Cool tires, but that was good.
Texas has not been a great place to him. Had that terrible crash here in the Truck Series a few years ago, but he did get his only career top 5 on a mile and a half at Charlotte last year. So
Creed had
some
2 more
positive
laps on
momentum
his
maybe
stuff
for
than
that
you
team.
did. He
Some
ran
good
a
thoughts as we
19.
come here to Texas. He's going to wrap the practice
And
session
Mayer had
17.
1 more lap, and he ran a
There's
16.
going to be a lot of
So those were
going on right now.
those
Everybody's
last 2
done
laps
with their
were
practice.
really.
I mean, some have been done for a little
Adjustment
while, but
period just started.
what adjustments do we make for qualifying? And then what are we going to do for tomorrow in the race?
I would say, too, qualifying is big because we know being in control here is an enormous deal. And when you have to come from behind, it is really difficult at Texas. So that puts a lot of focus on this qualifying session coming up.
Yeah, and in all fairness, I mean, it just shows the speed that you have in your car. If you don't have it in qualifying, it's not like these guys can go back and change the setups of the cars. I mean, if you have speed in qualifying, you most likely are going to have it in the race as well, and vice versa.
3-time winner this year, 31 wins in his career. Justin Allgaier has never been able to deliver a trophy at Texas, despite the fact he's been great here, but he was P1 in practice, qualifying on the
first time, but it sounds like I can take 50 pounds out of it. You'd be pretty sporty.
I'm a dirt racer, dude. That's what I do.
Nice job working through all those changes, guys.
Anybody know where our drain hose is? DJ, just stall for me there real quick.
Run, had speed all year long. You see he's right in front of his teammate right there. But Mayer needs to put together the whole weekend here.
Let's get a report on the man 8th in practice, Taylor Gray with Kim.
Yeah, Adam, remember, battled some of those gremlins early in practice. Seemed like it may have been an electrical issue. Was there more clarification on what specifically the car was dealing with, and did you get it fixed to your liking?
Yeah, we had a plug wire issue there towards the beginning of practice, but yeah, no, overall, super happy with everyone at Jacobs Racing and Jason Ratcliffe and the 54 team. I feel like we're close. I think we need to be a little better, but you know, we're continuing to work. We made good changes throughout practice. Just need to get a little better here, and obviously qualifying super important here. Track positions, everything. So, got to go put a good qualifying lap down here and hope for the best. But can't thank everybody at Operation 300 and Experiment and get Jacobs Racing.
What does a good qualifying lap look at Texas? Do you know what you're going to do yet?
It's sketchy, right? You know, just a lot of throttle time, right?
Rubber in the right rear.
You have a big lip into one,
to put a
but
half
you're back
rubber in
to
the
it
right
really
rear.
quickly. And just honestly, having mechanical grip is the biggest thing through 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is the most technical corner. So just getting your car to drive right? And then obviously getting both ends connected correctly is the biggest thing.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys, sketchy's not fun for the drivers during a qualifying lap, but it's going to be fun for us to watch.
I was going to say, I'm here for it. It's a lot easier from this seat than it is that one.
It's the word that every driver uses to describe this racetrack. Everybody, I heard Larson say that earlier this week.
Hey,
Texas is sketchy.
I'm working on my fantasy team over here, and I've looked at the scoring monitor, but I need to know for sure who's going to be fast tomorrow. Can you help us out with that?
Yeah, and let me just go back. We talked about Allgaier being the fastest on 5, 10, 15 lap average. This is what, as a driver that I lived in and would die by. This across the bottom right here, it's the laps the drivers have run. See over here, this is their lap time. Ideally, you want to start at this bottom corner and be as low as you can. What I like about what I see here, I know that Allgaier right here in red, you see he's lower to start with. A lot of that is determined by the time that you went out. He decided to go out right away in practice. Kyle Larson decided to wait. But what I see, and I know we're going to have some long green flag runs right here. It's about lap 20 right here. You see how the blue all of a sudden starts going down, and you see Allgaier is still kind of running this linear path up. If I'm a driver, I feel like Larson, just looking at this, and I see where he is on that lap 20, it's almost 0.3 of a second. He was quicker than Justin Allgaier. I like the way that looks. That's who I'd be putting on my fantasy list.
Well, and I would say when we get into that final stage tomorrow is when that really pays off with those long runs we undoubtedly will have. Let's go back down to pit road and Kim.
Yeah, caught up with Brent Cruz. The fun thing about a rookie driver is there are a lot of racetracks that you haven't seen and raced at. So first time at Texas Motor Speedway, what's the big takeaway after being in your car here in practice?
Gosh, it's fast, but it's a lot of fun. My Mobile 1 Toyota GR Supra is really good. Got some dirty air there those first couple laps, so that's why we're back in 20th. But overall, looking at the speeds later in the run, we're pretty good. Just trying to figure out how to qualify these things still. Hopefully I can figure it out later today with the nice weather we got going.
So many drivers we talked about describe this track as sketchy. Did you reach a point in practice where you would put this in the sketchy category?
Yeah, for sure. I was a little bit on the tighter side, so when I was on the throttle on exit, the wall would approach really quickly. But my teammate Taylor came up to me and before practice, and he was like, "Were you nervous? Or are you nervous?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, you should be. This place is sketchy in the race." So, yeah, eye-opening for sure. But I'm excited to get going.
Yeah, it feels like you're having fun.
I think so.
Brent Cruz coming off his career best finish. Dylan.
And catching up with Austin Dillon, who is back in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series for his first start of the year. Okay, going over a lot of data there, was listening to your radio. What are you feeling back behind the wheel of one of these cars for the first time in a while?
Feeling a lot. I mean, the Boot Barn Chevy was pretty solid. I'm proud of Ryan Chisholm and the group that they put together for us. And I was learning a lot, just the cars, they lift and drive differently than the Cup cars. I don't know. I'm learning at a high rate again. It's fun. So I think I'm first one out here. We'll see what we can get. I was talking to Austin about just cycles on tires, what the car does differently, so I'm not like changing the balance going into tomorrow. But I need to go make a lap here. And we'll see what we got. I mean, overall, it was pretty decent.
All right, good teammates for sure to lean on for the former series champ.
I am rooting for the hand cam. I say we get Kim and the big deal right there to go down and show us the hands after all of these guys run their qualifying lap. Because of the adrenaline and how sketchy this place is, they'll all have just a little bit of shake.
And I mean, how mean is this series to him? He's won a championship. Oh, by the way,
still learning.
You get to be the first one out in qualifying. That's just mean.
down there. It's like the file drawer I keep them in.
I do not want to do any shock adjustments. I do not want to do any shock adjustments. Seconds. Extended practice, I want to be down 4.
Triple header weekend here in Texas for NASCAR. Trucks on track tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time on FS1. Tomorrow, NASCAR on Prime has Cup Series practice and qualifying at 12:30.
3.5 out of the right rear.
NASCAR Countdown Live on CW at 2:30 for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And FS1, the place Sunday afternoon, Cup Cars racing at 3:30 Eastern time. Now we rewind to last Saturday's race for the O'Reilly Series at Talladega. Here's a little radio session. Talladega Super Speedway. There's no place like it.
Check 1 2, copy. I got you. Get our game face on here. Go to work, get them one at a time. I know you're nervous as right here, buddy. Just hold that thing on the floor. 3, 2, 1, be ready. Green flag, green flag.
Tight ahead, on your butt to 8.
Oh, we go out. Patrick Starpoli into the wall.
Hang on to it here, hang on to it. That was close. Long in, didn't slide anything. Bumper, you're clear, clear, clear. 2 feet, 1 foot up tight. Here comes the shot. Just so you're aware, per NASCAR, that was as far as you could go on making that pass down the back with the L line. When we got to make block moves, we got to be aggressive. We got to get some more speed in this thing. It's like a freaking road. Just run it where it's at right now. Do not hit me from the lead in this thing, dude. You will tear up. Doing great right here. Just keep holding the pretty wheel. Still there. Still inside, tight to your door.
Contact 3 wide.
Coming back to the white. The 18's a lap down. We're hoping you can work with us. Far inside. 2 top, 1 inside.
And it goes there. Goes Mayer. Out of line.
So 41 sorry, just trying to pull the 19 through. Yeah, what the is he doing? They're wrecking their asses off of 4 here. Come back, checker. Keep the double zero in the mirror.
There's the yellow
Bullet
Corey
to 9, to 3, to 32. I'll try and let you know what they say.
His first career victory comes at Talladega Super Speedway.
Hell yeah, buddy! Dude, you're such a badass. Way to do it.
Never in a million years did I think my win would be at a super speedway.
And we're not going to make Sam Mayer relive Talladega. Instead, let's look eyes forward to Texas Motor Speedway. This is a place that's been great for you. 4 top 10s in the last 5 races, including a win. Do you have a car that can recreate some of that magic here at Texas?
Definitely. The old Andy Chevy is pretty good. I'm really excited to get out here and do a little qualifying lap. This place is tons of fun to qualify at. So we haven't done it in a while. So we'll all kind of find out together what we got. But I'm super excited. I think everyone at Haas Factory team has done a really good job. And the Hendrick engine department's been doing a good job all year in qualifying. We have 2 poles already. So hopefully we can go chase the 3rd.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sam's right. They have not qualified here in a while. Should be fun. You heard the word sketchy. Again, not fun for the drivers, but it's going to be interesting to watch who takes home the pole. Practice already done. Let's see who's going to start P1 tomorrow at Texas Motor Speedway.
Tyler, what do you think the pole's going to be? 2890?
Too late, you know?
We'll move on till tomorrow.
Any of the fast guys, can you tell him how they were arcing and listening in the corner if you know he's worried about that a little bit?
I can't really tell like where they're lifting and stuff from our vantage point and where we can hear, but I can tell him, you know, how they're arcing in, if they're running the bottom, if they're a shallow entry, you know, if it's an arc, I can tell him that.
Okay, that'll work. He seems a little nervous right here.
As long as you're not too high, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'll let you know what he does down here.
Welcome to the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Machinery, Auctioneers, and Bird Oil Field Services qualifying from Texas Motor Speedway. Race 12 comes your way tomorrow. It's live on CW. NASCAR Countdown Live gets you going with Carl Events at 2:30 Eastern Time. And as we get set for the qualifying session here at our third mile-and-a-half race of the year, it's one round, it's one lap, 38 cars here. Everybody makes the show. We use the metric to determine when you go out. Austin Dillon driving the 3. They haven't been around this year. They don't have any points. So the 2013 champ is first up. Get the hand cam ready when he finishes up.
Yeah, you're two.
Well, when he heard Austin referencing, you know, trying to learn, he hasn't been in an O'Reilly Series car in a while. You see he's hooked right to that white line, though. Talked about how early they get to the throttle, and then there's just such a big decision down here to be made how much throttle you can use if you roll out all the way. Gosh, that car looks really yawn out right there. You see him hitting a couple of those bumps. He ran a 30.07 in practice. Ooh,
Nice pickup. Wow. Yeah, how about 29.35, 7/10 better than what he did in the practice session. He was 19th in practice earlier, and I would say that'll easily get you inside the top 20, top 15 when it comes to qualifying.
Yeah, and the one thing about this track, and it happens almost every week, and we'll have to pay attention here to see how much rubber gets picked up, but the track is typically going to get faster. Not only does it get cooler outside, but just as the rubber gets picked up off of the racetrack, is getting a look at Brad Perez right here.
The super sub.
Does everything. Yeah. Does everything in the NASCAR garage. Yeah, it's cool to see him out here getting running again this weekend.
Twice this year, he's been at the track working for a team, and then went and got his helmet and jumped in to fill in for a driver who got sick or was injured.
Cleaned it off pretty good, too.
He's second.
Yep, it's up in
After going 31st in practice, he ran a 30.57 in practice, picks up here 3/10, 30.22. Dawson Cram normally drives 74. This week driving the 35.
Yeah, I got you, Harry.
Dawson practice. Dawson was 36 at a 31.12.
29.35. P1.
Hear him out of the throttle right there.
For that bottom.
Good lap going right here, though. Only 2/10 off.
Yes, sir.
Austin Dillon.
10-4.
Really good lap going right here.
Yeah, that tracker tells you so much. Losing a little bit in 3 and 4.
Come back.
That's interesting. I would have thought 1 and 2 would have been the much more difficult corner versus 3 and 4, but still a good little lap right there. 29.98 for Dawson. Nice pickup from practice.
Really good pickup for driver 35.
He picked up a second and 3/10. That was great.
Josh Williams hits the track as we go to Dillon.
35.
All right, we're going to do our most difficult walk and talk yet here. Okay, the car's going to stop. This is going to make it easier on me. Let's chat with William Sawalich here. Okay, you got to run some truck laps earlier today. Got to run some laps in the O'Reilly car here. We've heard guys describe this as sketchy. Does it feel that way for you guys out there, too?
It turned really good right there.
Probably qualifying,
I wasn't ready for it. 200
pretty
at the
tight
line.
practice, so I mean that's a
10-4,
lot more
man.
control
We'll
on
go
this
racing.
race car.
Get
The
after 'em
trucks
tomorrow.
are wide open around here, so it's
Yeah,
a big
absolutely.
change hopping back in this car, having to use some brake in 1 and 2, and you know
Yeah,
a little
there's no
easier
way
in
I
3 and 4, but we're still gonna be, you know,
Was just a
ripping
little
in
early.
qualifying.
Turn it into
That's
one.
for sure. Thanks,
to
William.
the 9 and the 3.
Going to be ripping. I would say that
Yeah,
describes it. Josh Williams was ripping in the 92, 32nd in practice. He goes from 30.61 to a 29.52. Really good pickup there as we go on board. Carson Quapple driving the 9.
Yeah, and let's
Think about it a
listen
little bit.
as we go down
Start
through 3
sliding
and
off the
4.
bottom.
Watch that throttle on the
3
right.
and
Let's
4
see
there.
how much he's out of the throttle right here.
Try just a 4-wheel slide. 1 and 2. Pretty solid. Really. What a easy hit. I saw exactly what you said there.
Yeah, he
I
lifted
saw the
just a little.
four-wheel
We didn't
slide
see
right
it
about
on the
there in
throttle
the
trace
corner
on the bottom.
above
But
you.
you could hear him roll
And,
out just a
but
little bit.
pretty happy with it.
Right as
Good
the
work.
car start hitting those bumps, you
Is that
start
gonna be
losing
even
the front
close,
end just a
you
little
think?
bit. In order to
Or
keep
did
that
he have to
underneath you,
land
you
it?
have to roll out of the throttle. But
Well,
great lap right there. 29. Yeah, really good lap.
Picks it up from a
I think it's in the
30.22 in
ballpark.
practice. By the way, you look at the bumper, and Ryan Ellis is not going to go out and make a qualifying run in the 02 for Young's. Had an axle seal problem, so they'll come from the back tomorrow. And here's Patrick Staropoli driving the 48 for Big Machine, an organization that got their first ever win right here at Texas with Tyler Reddick in 2022. And Staropoli is happy to be at Texas because it was over before it even got started last Saturday for him at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, he's got a great lap going right here, tracking to be third right now. See, turns 3 and 4, lost just a little bit of time right there. Ends up fourth overall, though, at 29.50. The track has just gotten fast.
Unbelievable.
Man, track has picked up a ton of speed since practice.
Yeah, I see that 48, and I think about how good Nick Sanchez was in the race here a year ago. What's going on, Kim?
A guy that's also good here is Ryan Sieg. Everybody remembers that close finish 2 years ago. You were surprised we wanted to talk to you. You said, you think I know how to get around this place? I think you do. What does it take, though, to be good at Texas Motor Speedway?
I mean, of course you have to have a fast Jimaro Chevrolet to start with, but getting off turn 2 is probably the biggest thing, and then able to just carry speed in both corners and just having enough security entry. So, but we're pretty close. So I feel pretty confident. We've come pretty far from this season, just figuring out where we need to be with the different manufacturer and different stuff we've had this year. So just a lot of hard work, and we're just grinding it out, and now we're pretty close on our points. So hopefully the win will come here soon.
Ryan Sieg, one of the best when it comes to the mile and a half. Really good qualifying run for Anthony Alfredo. After going 14th in practice, he jumps from a 30.009 to a 29.31. He's second. Here's Raja Caruth. A lot of green for driver 32.
What a lap Raja has going right here. See him through turns 3 and 4, washes up just a little bit, but the tracker is still really happy, continuing to get better and better.
From a 30.19 to a 29.063, Raja Caruth leads in qualifying.
And he's got to be happy with that. The track has so much speed, and just as a reference, the last time we qualified here was in 2024, and Jesse Love ran a 29.09, so that lap by Caruth quicker than that.
There's Harrison Burton in the 24.
Bottom both ends, just decent
Won
arc
here in
and
2020, one of his 4 career victories.
Carson kind of got to the bottom a little bit
His
quicker.
dad Jeff won the first ever Cup race here in 1997. Jeff won here twice in a Cup car. And why is it the only memory I have of Jeff here is when he and Jeff Gordon were pushing and shoving outside the ambulance.
Yeah, that's a memory for sure.
Some red for Harrison Burton. He comes back and he is 5th of the 9 cars that have been on track.
The heater just getting back to
At the wrong quarter block of the qualifying session in Texas, the man that got the checkered flag here 2 years ago is on the way. Sawalich, Mayer, and Larson coming up.
Coming to the green, do what we talked about, the high entry, low exit, run down the hill, coming to it, start.
You're saying the 96 used all the room off of 2 and 4, correct?
Yes, yeah, just kept his min speed up by letting the car wash up on exit.
Off.
Copy that. That's what I like to hear. He was just a car higher on exit. He got back in the gas earlier.
No, but I don't know how many cars are left in front of you guys.
10-4.
Yep, I will. Yeah, like I said, the trucks didn't seem like it was an advantage either way, but 32 was quite a bit better than the 9 by running up there.
I don't know. I stuck that half rubber left rear.
Actually just tight.
This is the fastest mile and a half of the year, but it's also possibly the most treacherous.
Final lap. Mayer gonna make the pass. Can see get back by him. Back to the start-finish line. This one is gonna be tight. Who got it done? Photo finish. What a thriller.
Oh my gosh, this is one of the closest finishes I've ever seen.
It's the second closest finish in series history.
Kyle Larson filling in for the injured Connor Zilic. Found out midweek he was going to drive the 88.
Kyle Larson once again at Texas.
Thanks for stepping up for Connor.
I'll tell you, it's weird watching someone drive a car with your name on it, but I'm glad that it's Kyle. I'm able to learn a lot from him.
Great car, Marty. Good job.
Couple of injuries last year for Connor Zilic, and every time he got banged up the next week, his car would win, and a couple of times he had an assist. Kyle Larson, of course, our buddy Parker Kligerman helped him out at Daytona. What a crazy and fun night that was for everybody last August. There's Connor.
These guys are looking at the lap times that everybody's running. Track's 15 degrees cooler than the last time he qualified, so as a reference, that's why we're seeing just a little bit quicker lap times. And I know we were pumped about Austin Dillon's lap time pulling out at first, but as you look at what they're able to run right here, you got to think we're going to get in the 28s before this is all said and done.
Well, there's a reason I don't gamble. And the reason is, if you said, is he going to start over or under 15th, I probably would have bet the under for Austin Dillon, and I would have let the house take that money. Here's Jeb Burton. You saw there was a problem for LeVar Scott. We'll continue to monitor what's going on with the 45 as Jeb Burton gets up to speed.
Yeah, and one thing that I want you to pay attention to, he goes through 1 and 2. I'm going to lay out when we get down to 3 and 4. We'll listen to his throttle, but I also want you to listen to the side skirts, the splitter, and everything drag. Man, you hear that? He barely rolled out of the throttle. It should be a decent lap right here. He's going to end up 6th overall, 29.50. I thought 3 and 4 looked really good. I have to think that time loss had to be through turns 1 and 2, but man, as a driver, as you go through and that car starts bottoming out, you just hope it stays underneath you, that the balance doesn't shift to loose to tight. All these cars dragging through there.
A couple of weeks ago, Taylor Gray won at Kansas, second right here at Texas in 2025. Second Toyota to go in the qualifying session. First from Joe Gibbs Racing, and look at all the green midway down the back straightaway.
He was super free through 1 and 2. We'll see if his balance will probably be looser down here on this end. Rolls that just a little bit. Lost a little time there. Is he going to be able to hold on to it?
boy, how close was that? To the top for Taylor Gray. By 2/1000ths of a second, he jumps in front of Raja Karuth. That was fun.
It's a long
Dylan?
way down in there.
Well, hey, we talked about Austin Green earlier in practice. Let's talk to him here as he gets ready to climb aboard. So 10th last week at Talladega. You're close to the top 10 in practice here. Do you feel like the ovals are starting to kind of come together for you and you're starting to understand what you need a little bit more?
Yeah, I think you know, I've never been here, so I mean, this place is wicked. So just can't thank everybody enough on the team and Doug Peterson, 3-0 Service Group. We've got a pretty good 87 Chevy. You know, I tried to just kind of run as many laps as I could and move around. And so, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the rain can hold off. We can go qualify and hopefully go for the pole.
Absolutely. Great to see the 87 have speed 2 weeks in a row.
No doubt about that. Joey Gase is 12th right now.
I want to be as calm as Austin before my qualifying laps. So mellow, there's like no highs and no lows. It's all the same.
But you know his dad, David, who's a series champion, it's kind of a, I mean, it's really funny to watch how these second, sometimes third generation drivers are and the mannerisms and how they compare to their dads and their uncles and all of that. I told you LeVar Scott had pulled out a line. They've now pushed his car to the garage, got a report on radio. He thought maybe they were having a starter issue, so he will not make a qualifying run. But as I pointed out earlier, 38 cars here, so everybody going to make the show. Here's William Sawalich in the 18.
Yeah, William a little bit off through turns 1 and 2, but gained back quite a bit through 3 and 4. Tells me we saw, Taylor Gray had that pretty good advantage, and then looked like he missed 3 and 4 just a little bit. So a little bit more left out there. I think we will get the 28s before this is all said and done.
Two Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas inside the top 5. Gray leading. Sawalich goes to 4th. And now we see another Chevy from Haas factory team. They were really, really good in the practice session. Boy, that thing's dancing on Sam Mayer there.
Gosh, he's super loose right there. I'm also shocked that his visor's up. That would drive me crazy if something maybe getting in my eye. Sam, just a couple of tenths down there. Oh, that thing is oh my gosh, that thing is nervous. See him having to counter steer back to the right on entry at both ends of the racetrack.
The car's nervous. How do you think Sam is feeling? 5th for Mayer, 29-28. Kim?
Well, nobody's arguably been better at Texas Motor Speedway in the recent years than Justin Allgaier. 5 top 5s in the last 7 races. I was talking to crew chief Andrew Overstreet earlier today. He described your evolution here as a fine wine. How would you describe your career at Texas?
I don't know. I mean, I've gone through a couple different variations of what this racetrack has been like, but super proud of this team. I mean, every year we come here, we tend to find a few things here and there that make our cars better. Obviously the Hendrick engine shop, everybody at Chevrolet, they've been working really hard. Everybody at our shop at JBMotorsports. So it's always good to drive a great race car. But our Roto-Rooter Chevy was really good at practice with the speed that we saw on the board. But I was actually more excited about kind of the long run speed. I feel like this racetrack, it moves around a lot, where the residuals are from the old spray. So, qualifying, it's going to be tough. We go out in the middle of the pack. Some teammates have run some really good laps there. So just managing it, I think, is going to be the most important piece. But what I've learned here is qualifying doesn't really matter. It's how you finish this race. And I think I got the team that can do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's qualified up there. He's led a lot of laps. He's won stages, but has never been able to get the checkered flag at the end. Talking about Allgaier, this guy did it last year. Kyle Larson.
Look at that.
And a lot of green.
Oh, a lot
Team
of green.
car up there in 3rd. In Carson Quapple, everybody chasing Taylor Gray. Money in the bank for Larson. Look at this lap off the corner, back to the start-finish line. Boom! He is fastest, 28.74.
Wow, he had an awesome turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2, about a 10th up, but the commitment through 3 and 4, the fact that car's stuck, awesome. A 28.74, definitely getting in the 28s, Adam.
Fastest qualifying laps since 2019. I mean, that's blistering right there. Here's Garrett Smithley in the 0. And as Garrett gets up to speed, we heard Justin talking with Kim down there while they were visiting. Kyle Sieg made his qualifying run. He is now 9th after Larson went to the top.
Yeah, done practices. We're pulling out. And then bottom.
At the halfway point in qualifying for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series here at Texas, Smithley is 15th, a 30.079. Some fast cars on the way. We've heard from Sieg. We know he'll be good. Connor Zilich and Justin Allgaier straight ahead on CW.
Good man.
And you'll talk about grip. Fast time is a 28.74.
I think we have a 28.74 in this stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody does, but him.
I mean, was he flat 3 and 4?
But he was.
Biggest thing that helped him against the 54 off of 2 is he was able to tip in earlier. Actually, he tipped in later and more of a light switch, where the 54 tipped in earlier and had to wait. And he had lift shape off of 2, so just cutting distance. And I think the 54 had to lift a little bit, 3 and 4. Larson did not. Yeah, 10-4.
When they try to carry wide open and they, you know what I mean, run out of track, they have to lift a little bit. But Larson was wide open through 3 and 4 the whole way.
Yeah, there's no doubt on that. You kind of commit there. Once you let off, exit, kills your fucking momentum down the straightaway.
Yeah, 54 had a great lap going, and then he just used up too much racetrack. You know, one of them deals where you have to lift before you hit the fence. That's what he did. But everybody else been wide open.
All ready to go. Second half of qualifying here at Texas Motor Speedway. Fun racetrack, and you know, it's amazing the growth in this area over the years. Right here at the interchange with the interstate, and I mean, there's just been so much retail that has gone up here in Fort Worth.
It's unrecognizable.
It is, compared to what it was when we were coming here 25 years ago.
Brisket sandwich right there.
Well, this is where I saw my first Buc-ee's, I think.
Is it?
I believe so.
Actually, I have been to that one.
Of course you have.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Charco Street. Buc-ee's is a fun place. I can't believe we don't have a Buc-ee's race car yet. You know that every race team in the garage has tried to sell them. Surely.
They need your marketing mind to help out.
Tell you what, if they want to sponsor a 15-year-old to modify it, I know the right guy.
Banner week a week ago at Talladega in qualifying for DGM, Mario Goslin. Josh Williams has already been out in qualifying. He is 12th. Here's his teammate Mason Maggio. LeVar Scott, Ryan Ellis both having mechanical issues, did not make a qualifying run. So this is actually the 18th car we've seen on track in the session.
Yeah, and all these guys are going to feel good. Almost everybody's picked up at least a half a second from practice. So inside of the car, feels so much better in practice, the amount of grip that these guys have. Mason ran a 30.90 in practice. See that, 29.61. So going to put him 14th overall. But think about it, inside the car, it's a 1.3 second pickup. I can tell you, that feels amazing.
Here's the good news. You picked up 1.3 seconds. Bad news is you're 14th. You should, I mean, you feel like it owes you more.
Bad news is you need 1.2 more.
That's right.
That's right, yeah.
High expectations here for Ryan Sieg, not just because of his history at this racetrack, but we talked about HFT and the Alliance cars and what they did in practice. Mayer the best of that bunch right now in qualifying, up there in the 6th position.
And Ryan was 3rd in practice, so extremely quick right off the truck today at a 29.60. Tracking really good right here. Should be 2nd overall. Behind Larson, he'll be able to back up what he did in practice. Yeah, 2nd at a 29.01, so good lap right there for Sieg.
You're either good at math or you can just see the future. You know that?
What do you mean?
Well, you're predicting where he's going to be, and you nailed it.
Well, I mean, good at math, no. Just good at predicting, I think.
Dylan?
Let's catch up with Jeremy Clements. As we said, 5th last week, 2nd in practice, so this thing's got some speed in it again. What kind of lap do you think you can lay down here?
I don't know, Dylan. I got to go out there and scare myself. Looks like the speeds are way up, but Alliance Driveway Solution Chevy's fast and made a lot of good changes during practice to get it better on the long run. So I'm excited for what we got. So I'm just going to try to go out there and hustle this thing as hard as I can.
Really good
hope
there.
we end up with the front.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's always nerve-wracking to sit in the car and know what you ran in practice and what your car felt like, and then see how much time they've picked up. You know it's going to stick, but it's hard to sit there and look at that and know how much quicker you have to go.
Josh Balicki goes 18th right there with his teammate. Here comes the 53, another Texas native, David Starr from Houston.
Man, there was a time David Starr at Texas Motor Speedway in the Truck Series had a shot to win so many races here. He was actually an instructor at a school that was at this track, so had run 1 million laps here before. It's been a great track for David.
He's put a lot of miles on the road, but he looks like the same guy today that he did when he was winning all those trucks. Not at all.
It's like Benjamin Button almost, right?
There you go.
Maintaining.
You know, and he was doing a podcast for a while, so he's dipping over on the media side. Qualifies 20th.
Below the top
the 21 that have taken time. Over 500 starts in the top
years is that?
In the top 3 series of NASCAR, dating back to 1998. So closing on 30 years of competition, which is crazy.
Good for him. It's a long career.
Here's Connor Zilic, won the last time he raced in that one car at Bristol. Talked during practice about the fact that he has never won on a mile and a half.
Oh, he's gonna have to have a good 3 and 4.
Teammates at the top. Got 2 of them up there inside the top 5, and some red as he comes off the corner, but he's hanging tight.
He is. All that lap time was going to be lost in 1 and 2.
Second for Zilic.
Love to hear what he has to say about maybe what he could have done better through 1 and 2, or if Larson just did an exceptional job on that end of the racetrack. I think all these guys that we see going for the pole, here's another one, Allgaier are going to be wide open through 3 and 4, so it's going to be all about 1 and 2 and how big of an arc. See, he came to the green really good. He's already in the green. Oh, he drove in there deep. Is it going to stick? It is. Oh, he's going to give up a little bit on exit, though. He's got some in the bank.
Larson went 28.74. Zilic went 28.82. The only 2 drivers to get in the 28-second bracket. And look at this lap for Allgaier.
Allgaier said, hold my beer. Here it goes.
Money in the bank.
Yes.
Bang! He is fastest. 28.63. A 1/10 of a second better than Larson. That's incredible.
Great lap.
Good job, boys. Excellent work.
Really good through turns 1 and 2. But he even gained a little bit through 3 and 4, so 7 car hooked up right now.
Austin Green on track as we go to Kim.
You're going to be just fine.
Yeah, Sheldon Green will be the second to last to put his qualifying lap down. As you've been paying attention to what other drivers are doing, what have you noticed and how is that going to dictate what you do during your lap?
Well, it looks cold and fast, so yeah, I don't know. Going to try to do my best to go wide open through 3 and 4 on my up to speed lap and on my green lap, and yeah, let's try to carry as much speed as I can. I felt like my Road Ranger Chevy was really good in practice, and honestly, I was probably on the conservative side a lot through practice. I feel like I was an adjustment or 2 away from being really good and just didn't want to like jeopardize getting too high and just hitting the wall or something. But yeah, cold and fast today here in Texas.
Austin Green finishes his qualifying run 11th. His uncle Jeff holds the track record here at Texas, over 193 miles an hour back in 2002, a couple of years after he won the series championship. Here's Brennan Poole in the 44.
Brennan got a decent lap going here through 1 and 2. So his 3 and 4 works out. Able to get right to that white line. Big arc into the corner.
He was 18th in practice, ran a 30.06. And this lap puts him 17th, quicker than practice, but right around where he was on the board at 17th.
Yeah, and he picked up about what we've seen half second. See Larson giving a little fake smile like he's happy for Allgaier right there. That's not real. He's like, damn.
Here's the only problem. Allgaier was so good early in the race last year, and Larson ended up winning, but Larson had to start like 20th.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they're both going to be up there. That's going to make life really difficult on Allgaier and everybody else in the field, because we know what a good racer Larson is. And I go back to Las Vegas when these two went head-to-head. you know, Allgaier sweeps the stages. Larson wins the race. Took him some time to figure it out.
I don't feel like we've got to see him go head-to-head when they both felt like they had a good car.
That's a good point.
Like it's like they, I mean, obviously Allgaier had the best car at Vegas and Larson won, and then vice versa at Darlington. But both of them have good cars this weekend. It's going to be fun to watch this all go down.
Here's Blaine Perkins. His teammates up there in 6th. Raja Caruth. Blaine coming off a good week at Talladega Superspeedway. Finished 12th. His best run since the season opener at Daytona when he was inside the top 10. The mile and a halves have not been friendly to him in his career.
No, and turns 1 and 2 so important at this racetrack. You see, he was almost a half second off in turns 1 and 2.
With the
He's going to lose about the same, I guess. Maybe not quite as much in 2, 3, and 4, but 1 and 2 is just so important. He ends up at 29.55. About a half-second pickup, though. I mean, it's been pretty consistent across the board. Half second. Some of the guys have picked up a little bit more.
But if you didn't pick up, you had to be hugely disappointed because everybody, as you said, has been picking up at least a half a second. Here's Austin Hill.
Yeah, Austin ran 29.98 earlier today in practice. It's like a pretty big commitment right there in turns 1. Washed up just a little bit. You see he lost about a 10th on exit. He was committed. The car just didn't stick as well as he needed to.
Jesse Love will come later. 3 cars here for RCR this weekend. Austin Dillon 12th. You put an asterisk by that because he was the first car out in the session. We know that's a disadvantage. And the tracker not too bad for Austin Hill. Takes him to 4th. 28.96. 4th driver to get south of 29 seconds in qualifying.
1 second pickup. Good pickup.
Really good for Hill. There's his teammate Jesse Love. 9 to go in qualifying in Texas.
Thing I see. 10-4 on that. Pole right now is what, 66? Is that what that says? 63. Where those other guys got down to the white line and then it evened out in the center was not a loss for him, so it was overall net gain for the 7. 10-4. 1 second. I think it's the same, but I'll double check it for you. Same, and then he waits just a little bit longer to turn in, like just a little bit slower with his hands in 1, and then same shape at 3. So that same like lap 5, not turn the wheel too quick is what he did. Copy. And he was about 4 to 5 car lengths deeper. Yes, sir. I was just telling. Bottom, you know what I mean? But the 7 had a pretty big arc in the 3 where he got a lot of his stuff through 3 and 4. Same thing at 1 and 2. Just can't overdrive it, not, you know, miss the bottom is the biggest thing. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that the 88 wrapped the bottom too tight out of 2. The 7 gained time, kind of like get to the line and then just drive to the wall. Yeah, for sure.
Everything may be bigger in Texas, but nothing is bigger than walking away with a win from the Lone Star State.
Drivers, start your engines!
It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's make sure we're there at the end.
Saddle up and ride. We are green at Texas.
Green flag, green flag.
Texas is challenging and it is fast.
All out front. Let's go. Fight, Brad. We'll fight for you.
Sam Mayer is closing in on the leader. Jones digging hard on the bottom of the racetrack.
You don't want to find yourself out of the groove. That equals disaster.
Trouble down the middle of the front stretch.
Hard the inside wall.
It's not going to be easy. We've got to battle all day.
This one's not over yet. Here comes Kyle Larson for the win.
Back to the start-finish line. Photo finish.
Heck yeah, boys. Good job, Sam Mayer. Woo!
That was absolutely epic.
Did I hear a yeehaw in the highlight reel? Was that you?
We are in Texas tonight. That was not me. I'm pretty sure.
Parker.
It was definitely not me.
I hope we get another one tomorrow. He'll be with us for race coverage. We're on the air. NASCAR Countdown Live, 2:30 Eastern Time with Carla Metz. 9 cars to go in qualifying. First of those, man, second in practice, Jeremy Clements.
Yeah, and he talked about being a little nervous knowing how much grip this track was going to have. Going to have a good lap right here. In the top 5, I think, by the time this is said and done.
Top 5 last week at Talladega. 5th here in qualifying. 28.991 jumps him up in front of Ryan Sieg for that final position inside the top 5.
And I think for Sieg and Jeremy Clements, that's great. I mean, I know it's not where they were in practice, but those are going to be really solid starting positions for both those guys.
Look at the numbers for Dean Thompson last Saturday at Talladega. All those stage points, the 6th place finish, they needed it, they got it. Love to see him back it up here in qualifying.
And Dean had a tremendous weekend. It's hard to survive Talladega, much less be able to put it together in both stages and the end of the race.
Yeah, Tommy, I probably should have given
That's
it a
such an
little more on
impressive
entry.
rookie campaign last year, and it hasn't been as fruitful here in the sophomore season, but trying to get his arms around it.
Good little lap right here, though. See where he's going to end up. Got in 15th. I thought he was going to be a little better than that. 3 and 4. Looked like he lost just a little bit of time on the exit of 4.
All right, going to come to the second opening here.
This would be a good lap. We know we talk about Parker Retzlaff every single week, getting all he can out of that car. His teammate Alfredo's in 12th. It's been fun on board.
A little too shallow into 1. Might have hurt your exit.
Gosh, they get to the throttle so early. It's way before the apex of the corner. That track flattens out. You see him having to wheel it a little bit on exit where it gets loose. It's such a commitment through 3 and 4. And him just barely having to roll out the throttle. Yeah, 7th overall. Good lap, 29.03.
Really good for Parker Retzlaff. He referenced the fact his teammates down there in 13th. So both these guys from Viking Motorsports going to flirt with a starting spot inside the top 15. Brandon Jones on track. Best of the bunch so far for Joe Gibbs Racing. Taylor Gray in 8th. Brandon really good a couple of weeks ago in a 1.5 miles at Kansas, swept the stages. In fact, those were the only stage victories this year for Joe Gibbs Racing, and he is ready to take it to the top. Jamie pointed it out in the telestrator. Tracker real friendly to 3 and 4.
Allgaier, we got his attention. Look, he's checking the tracker out as exactly what we're seeing. See Dylan laughing.
He lost it off of turn 4. Good enough to get him to second, 28.71, and it breaks up the 1, 2, 3 at the top for Junior Motorsports.
That's so much fun to see the attention it got of Allgaier right there.
You can act like it's just qualifying and it's not a big deal, but it means something to you. 5 to go. Here's Jesse Love.
17.
Car's nervous on entry. It's a little bit late. It looks like to me like getting back to the throttle. See if he can hold it wide open through 3 and 4 over those bumps. Not able to hold it. You hear him have to roll out of the throttle just a little bit mid-corner. See where that's going to put him overall. His teammate Austin Dillon 16th. That's going to put him 17th at 29.36. They just don't have the car they need right now. Got a little bit of work to do still to the 2 car, but they have tonight. They can think about the changes they want to make. You can't do a lot to the cars, but there are a few things they can do to try to make that better.
It's been a great qualifying session for Junior Motorsports, all of them inside the top 10 with the exception of Carson Quapple, who just fell down to 11th. Allgaier leads, Larson is 3rd, Zilich is 4th, and red early for Sammy Smith in the 8th.
Yeah, did not have a good turns 1 and 2. It looked good. It just seemed like he had to overslow the car a little bit, maybe just a little bit tight. See, 3 and 4 didn't look too bad. Lost time. He lost through 1 and 2 though, kind of carried it all the way down the backstretch. Going to end up 12th overall at 29.16 for Sammy Smith.
Remind you, he's one of the drivers going for the dash for cash tomorrow night, the extra $100,000. Say tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon. It is our final round of the dash for cash. The last 3 cars also up for the 100 grand. Here's Brent Cruz in the 19.
Saw his teammate Brandon Jones had a tremendous 1 and 2. Looks to me like Brent underdrove the entry, but he gained a lot of it back, was able to pick up the throttle. Look at the speed he has down the backstretch. He's going to have a little momentum if he can hold this wide open. That might carry all the way through 3 and 4.
Teammate Brandon Jones is second. Boys losing a little off the corner.
Oh, hit the wall just a little bit right there.
Cruz is 5th. 2 cars to go in qualifying. 2 Chevrolets, Sheldon Creed, Corey Day.
Take another look at this. You see he got just a little bit high. Had to chase it. I don't think he had any too much damage there. I think it's safe to say he got all out of it, though.
He did.
Yeah.
Good to the last drop for Brent Cruz.
Open.
Sheldon Creed talked about it during practice. Won a Truck Series race here in 2020. Has been the model of consistency in the last couple of months of the season. Really, really good out of the gates in 2026.
And his teammate Sam Mayer is down in 15th right now.
I mean, I didn't even get all the way out of it.
He's going to be just a little bit better than that, but not where he wants to be today.
A couple of those HFT Alliance cars up there in the top 10, Clements and Sieg, and Creed goes to 10th on the board. All right, Allgaier's been dodging them, and the last one is Corey Day. Coming off his first career victory at Talladega. Raced here a season ago, showed a lot of speed, and has been really good in his career on the 1.5 miles.
Came to the green quick. If you look on the bottom right, see commitment he made on entry. Looks like it pushed up just a little bit. Gonna lose a little time on exit. It's gonna get tight. The car track falls away from you over there.
Allgaier might not even have to go over and look at the monitor on this one. He's feeling good.
I think he's yawed out right there on Corey Day.
Just hang on and bring it back. Day does. He's not going to get the pole. He qualifies 6th, leading him to the green tomorrow. Justin Allgaier. Celebrate good times.
Man, I'm telling you, Corey Day did an awesome job. We got to go back and look at how yawed out that car was on the entry to turn 3. You're committed wide open throttle, and it just started skewing out on him ever so slightly. Whew. Take a look at this right here. Entry to 3, watch the back of that car. He had to catch it right there. You just hope when you're trying to catch that you don't hit those bumps wrong that we heard all those guys hitting through the race. Really good job saving that, and man, still coming home 6th. That was an eventful lap for him.
13 career poles for Justin Allgaier, Dylan.
Yeah, and so Larson goes out first, and then you go out. We thought Larson's lap was good, but then you got to survive the 20 too. So how good was your lap, do you feel like?
Well, I thought Brandon had me there. Obviously, just a testament to JBMotorsports. Everybody, the Hendrick Engine Shop, everybody Chevrolet. Our Roto-Rooter Chevy is really fast, and you know, I'm so proud of Andrew Overstreet and this whole 7 team. You know, to come to Texas, a place that I love, but haven't necessarily always qualified the best. And I don't know, you know, you still got to execute tomorrow. But so far for the day, we're doing a great job, and wish we were in the O'Reilly Series Dash for cash. Disappointed we didn't get in to be a part of that last week. But you know, overall, just cannot say thank you enough to this team. Everybody that works back at the shop. I mean, just the effort that goes in. Qualifying's for an old guy, qualifying's tough, especially watching some of these kids come after you. But just so proud of the effort and looking forward to getting this thing started off tomorrow.
All your teammates and of course a couple of the Gibbs cars really fast. What's going to be the difference maker tomorrow ultimately?
Well, we saw in practice. I mean, the track moved around a lot and was able to move up. We ran low quite a bit of that practice. So I think the temperature tomorrow, you know, hopefully it's not quite as overcast, a little bit warmer. You know, we want to put on the best show we can for our fans. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But again, I think that having maneuverability in the car is something that's going to be super important. And, you know, look, I've raced my teammates here a lot. And Kyle Larson guy's pretty good here. He outdueled me last year here. But to your point, there's so many good race cars and race teams, race car drivers right now that we're going to have to be on our A game for sure.
As he said, off to a good start. Allgaier chasing his first cowboy hat tomorrow here at Texas, Kim.
And Dylan, Brandon Jones will start P2. Brandon, Justin said he thought you almost got him. For a split second, it looked like you were going to have the pole. What was the difference maker there? You just didn't have quite enough.
Yeah, you gotta man up and qualify at this racetrack. It's honestly a really, really fun race to qualify at. 1 and 2 is so tricky, and I actually think that's maybe where I had a little bit of advantage, but I was committed to wide open in 3 and 4, and I got about 3/4 of the way, and the car just wasn't really liking it, so I had to roll out of the gas just a little bit, and I think that's probably where the 7 got me some. So we got Sylvania on our GR Super of the hood today, or for tomorrow anyways, and excited to go at it. I've also got this truck race coming up too with Sprecher root beer on the side of it, so excited to see what that holds for us tonight and get some more laps for this racetrack and start maybe even maybe on another foot for tomorrow.
This track very unique, two different ends of the racetrack. What kind of trends do you have to pay attention to throughout the race to be successful at Texas?
Yeah, it's going to move around a bunch tomorrow. I mean, you already saw us in practice working that second groove, right? So I think a lot of people are going to move around. The grip's going to change a decent amount. So that's going to be the biggest things, is keeping up with that and not being the last one to move, right? Because you see a couple of guys in practice find that early on and find some pace. So just kind of searching and being open-minded about that for tomorrow.
Front row start for Brandon Jones in tomorrow's race.
Geyer said that I'm an old guy winning the pole at 39. You know, he's the oldest to win a pole here since 2006. When Mark Martin won the pole,
Was he 50?
He was 47 years old.
Yeah.
That makes Allgaier seem young.
You don't know old, Justin.
Really cool. A couple of drivers that are great on the intermediates trying to get a win tomorrow here at Texas. They're on the front row, Allgaier and Jones. More coming up after the break.